life-saving trip by Jose Ortiz. Sometimes when you're that far back, Mike, that everybody makes their decision already, and you're left a lot of open lanes. Now he'll shift him out as he knows he's going to run into trouble if he doesn't, and he takes aim on his brother. And what a tremendous kick by Golden Tempo.
That's a lot of ground to make up in the stretch of the Kentucky Derby. He's 7 or 8 lengths back at the top of the stretch still.
The numbers on how far he ran are going to be amazing, right? Wow. And this is the pedigree of this horse. He has been dead last or second to last in almost every race he's run, but made a charge like this at a moment like this. A historic moment, Nick Luck.
Truly, Mike. And Cherie DeVoe is with nephew Maverick.
Looking for a fast way to track what's moving online right now? Head over to Qnotables.com. It's a centralized index of notable clips, headlines, and references being shared across the community, organized for quick browsing. Use it to spot patterns, pull links, and build your own research list. Qnotables.com. Browse the notables, verify the facts, stay informed. All reports can be found on Q Research or Qnotables.com. Notables do not equal endorsements. We are researchers who deal in open source information, reasoned argument, and dank memes. We do battle in the sphere of ideas and ideas only. We neither need nor condone the use of force in our work here.
From the Q Research Board's May 4th, 2026. Top story tonight. President Trump has announced Project Freedom, a U.S.-backed operation to help stranded commercial ships move through the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. Central Command says American forces will support the mission beginning Monday morning, Middle East time, as ships in the region face shortages, security threats, and growing pressure from Iran. Trump described the effort as a humanitarian gesture for international shipping, Middle Eastern nations, and the people affected by the crisis. U.S. military forces are now supporting Project Freedom in one of the most important shipping choke points in the world. The stated goal is to restore freedom of navigation and help commercial vessels that are running low on food and supplies. With energy markets watching closely, the operation sends a direct message. The United States is moving to reopen the lanes and keep pressure on Iran. President Trump is also making it clear he does not want to stop at partial destruction of Iran's missile-making capability. After saying U.S. and Israeli strikes had destroyed most of Iran's missile production capacity, Trump said he wants the remaining capability eliminated as well. The message to Tehran is direct: no rebuilding, no safe reset, and no return to business as usual. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is warning that U.S. economic pressure could force Iran to shut down oil wells. Bessent says sanctions, blocked exports, and pressure on Iran's oil infrastructure are tightening the squeeze. The Trump administration is working to weaken Iran's war machine while keeping the regime from rebuilding its military and missile programs. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani has been hospitalized in critical but stable condition. President Trump praised Giuliani as a true warrior and one of the greatest mayors in New York City history. Giuliani remains a major figure from the post-9/11 era, the Trump legal battles, and the fight over the 2020 election. President Trump says elections cannot be conducted unconstitutionally simply for the convenience of state legislatures. His statement puts election procedure back at the center of the national debate as the 2026 races approach. Trump is again pressing Republicans to challenge election rules before ballots are cast, not after the damage is already done. President Trump is taking aim at Hakeem Jeffries after Jeffries called the Supreme Court illegitimate. Trump argued that if Democrats impeached him over what he calls a perfect phone call, Republicans should respond strongly when Democratic leaders undermine the court. The fight shows how Supreme Court legitimacy remains a major political flashpoint heading into the next election cycle. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche is hinting that more evidence may be coming in the James Comey matter. Blanche's comments are fueling speculation that federal investigators have additional material not yet made public. For Trump supporters, the question is whether long-running complaints about the Russia probe will finally produce accountability. The Department of Homeland Security posted a short message telling Americans to trust in God and His plan for the nation. The message stood out because federal agencies rarely speak in direct religious language. It quickly became a faith-centered signal for Americans who believe the country's future depends on moral and spiritual renewal. The Department of Justice Task Force report says the Biden administration used prosecutions, policies, and agency actions in ways that harmed Christians and religious conservatives. The report points to pro-life prosecutions, religious liberty disputes, and the FBI's handling of traditional Catholic groups. The Trump administration says it is working to restore religious liberty protections across federal agencies. Pope Leo has appointed Bishop Avelio Menjivar Ayala to lead Catholics in West Virginia. Menjivar Ayala has been described in reports as a former undocumented immigrant from El Salvador who entered the United States hidden in a car trunk. His appointment is drawing attention because of his immigration history and his criticism of hardline immigration enforcement. Spirit Airlines has collapsed after years of financial trouble, bankruptcy pressure, rising fuel costs, and a failed JetBlue merger. Trump administration officials are blaming the Biden-era decision to block the JetBlue Spirit deal, while Senator Elizabeth Warren and other merger opponents claimed the block protected competition. Now, passengers are being refunded, workers are facing job losses, and the collapse is becoming a political fight over regulation and markets.
At shop.isawaya.com, everything you buy supports Acun.top, the place where people talk freely no matter what. Check out our Acun Honey Pot, a jar of yummy honey that's as strong as your voice. Put it on toaster and tea. It's not just honey, it's freedom in every bite. Then there's Acun Butter, a smooth handmade skin cream that makes you feel good while you fight for what's right. Awesome wooden pieces for display only. Hang them up or set them out. They're for showing off Acun's tough spirit. Want to help even more? Get a proto membership. So go to shop.isawaya.com now and grab some goodies. Help Acun.top keep free speech alive, and let's keep the ideas flowing loud and free.
All reports can be found on Q Research or Qnotables.com. Notables do not equal endorsements. We are researchers who deal in open source information, reasoned argument, and dank memes. We do battle in the sphere of ideas and ideas only. We neither need nor condone the use of force in our work here.
From the Q Research Boards, May 4th, 2026. Spirit Airlines has collapsed after years of financial trouble, bankruptcy pressure, rising fuel costs, and a failed JetBlue merger. Trump administration officials are blaming the Biden-era decision to block the JetBlue Spirit deal, while Senator Elizabeth Warren and other merger opponents claimed the block protected competition. Now, passengers are being refunded, workers are facing job losses, and the collapse is becoming a political fight over regulation and markets. Ilhan Omar is facing renewed scrutiny over reports that she helped secure public money for a Minneapolis health clinic once run by her sister. Reports say the clinic received a multi-million-dollar state allocation while Omar was active in Minnesota politics and her sister had served as CEO. The issue is now being raised as a conflict of interest question tied to taxpayer funding. A claim circulating online alleges that Adam Schiff was promised the CIA director position by Hillary Clinton if he helped bring down Donald Trump in 2016. The allegation is being discussed alongside broader claims that Schiff played a central role in pushing anti-Trump narratives during the Russia collusion era. The renewed attention keeps Schiff tied to one of the most disputed political operations of the Trump years. Republicans are watching Michigan closely after new forecast movement showed the open U.S. Senate seat becoming more competitive. The race is still early, but the shift matters because Michigan is one of the seats that could decide Senate control in 2026. For the GOP, any movement in the Midwest is a major political development. A 2020 Gretchen Whitmer interview is getting renewed attention because viewers noticed 8645 displayed behind her during President Trump's first term. Critics interpreted the numbers as a political message aimed at the 45th president. The image is now being recirculated as Michigan politics heats up again. A Pennsylvania Democratic Senate candidate, Raymond Eugene Chandler III, has reportedly been arrested after federal investigators say threatening voicemails targeted Senator John Fetterman, Fetterman's 13-year-old daughter, and President Trump. The case is now being treated as a serious federal threat matter. It adds another example to the growing concern over political threats moving from rhetoric into criminal conduct. A Wisconsin Democratic Socialist congressional candidate is under fire after reports said a deleted gun range video showed him shooting at Trump-themed targets. The candidate, identified in reports as Stephen Cooper, also known as Katrina DeVille, was blocked from speaking at a Democratic Party district convention. The incident is now being cited as another example of violent political imagery entering campaign politics. NATO is facing criticism after private meetings with film and television writers were reported in Europe and the United States. The alliance says the meetings were about dialogue and public understanding of security issues, but critics say the setup looks like an attempt to shape entertainment messaging. The controversy raises fresh questions about government-aligned narratives inside popular media. A search is underway for 2 American service members missing in Morocco during African Lion 2026. U.S. Africa Command says the troops went missing near the Cap Dra training area, and U.S., Moroccan, and partner forces are using ground, air, and maritime assets in the rescue effort. The case remains under investigation as military families wait for answers. A massive drone attack reportedly targeted the Primorsk oil port in Russia's Leningrad region. Russian officials reported dozens of drones in the area, and air traffic around St. Petersburg was disrupted. The strike shows Ukraine's long-range drone campaign continuing to hit Russian energy and logistics infrastructure. 2 Dutch princesses were reportedly targeted in what authorities described as a Nazi-linked axe plot. The alleged threat has raised alarm around royal security and extremist activity in Europe. The case is now being watched as part of a broader concern over violent radical plots aimed at public figures.
Every voice matters. The power of free speech is more important than ever. Imagine a place where you can share your thoughts freely, explore new ideas, and engage in meaningful conversations anonymously. With online anonymity, you can express yourself without fear of judgment. It's about freedom, creativity, and connection. Join the conversation that matters. Embrace your voice. Celebrate your freedom. Visit 8kun.top today. That's 8kun.top.
All reports can be found on Q Research or Qnotables.com. Notables do not equal endorsements. We are researchers who deal in open source information, reasoned argument, and dank memes. We do battle in the sphere of ideas and ideas only. We neither need nor condone the use of force in our work here.
Canada's Medical Assistance in Dying program is again under scrutiny, as critics warn that vulnerable elderly and disabled patients are being pushed toward death instead of care. Canadian law allows eligible adults to request medical assistance in dying, and government reports show the practice now accounts for a significant share of deaths. The debate is whether the system protects choice or creates pressure on the sick, weak, and elderly. The Department of Homeland Security says a Biden-appointed immigration judge released Brian Rafael Gomez, an illegal alien wanted by Interpol for murder. DHS blasted the release and said the case shows how dangerous foreign fugitives can slip through immigration proceedings. The department is using the case to argue for tougher detention and removal policies. Craig Long, described in reports as a MAGA influencer and January 6th participant, was arrested in a Polk County, Florida undercover operation tied to prostitution, human trafficking, and child predator investigations. Sheriff Grady Judd announced 266 arrests in the sting. The case is a reminder that political branding does not shield anyone from criminal accountability. U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro says forensic evidence confirms that a Secret Service agent was hit by a pellet from the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooter's shotgun. The agent survived because the pellet lodged in his protective vest. The suspect, Cole Tomas Allen, faces serious federal charges tied to the attempted attack. Full Measure with Cheryl Atkinson is spotlighting the dark side of organ donation. The episode examines whistleblower claims and troubling questions about how the system handles vulnerable patients. The report challenges viewers to look beyond the good intentions of donation and ask whether safeguards are strong enough. Gateway Pundit founder Jim Hoft and his brother Joe Hoft are both facing serious health issues, according to reports from conservative media. Jim Hoft is reportedly awaiting heart surgery, while Joe Hoft was reportedly hospitalized after suffering a stroke. Supporters are asking for prayers for both brothers and their families. Former Harvard scientist Charles Lieber, who is convicted of lying about his China ties, has reportedly rebuilt a brain-computer technology lab in Shenzhen. Lieber had been one of the world's leading nanotechnology researchers before his legal case in the United States. His move back into high-level research in China is raising renewed concern about American scientific talent and technology flowing to Beijing. NASA has released a large new batch of Artemis II mission images, giving the public a closer look at Earth, the Moon, and deep space views captured by the crew. NASA has highlighted images showing Earth from the lunar flight path and views of the Milky Way. The release marks another major step in America's return to crewed lunar exploration. James Woods is drawing attention to the statute of limitations question surrounding Dr. Anthony Fauci. The post reflects continued public anger over COVID-era decisions, testimony, and federal health policy. The issue remains alive among critics who want accountability for the pandemic response. Golden Tempo won the 2026 Kentucky Derby after a dramatic comeback from the back of the field. The long shot stormed past the leaders in the stretch, giving jockey Jose Ortiz his first Derby win and trainer Cherie DeVoe a historic victory. After the race, faith took center stage as the winning moment was tied to the message, "I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me." Sunday Biscuit's message is simple. If you do not stand firm in your faith, you will not stand at all. The line echoes Isaiah 7:9 and speaks directly to endurance under pressure. In a chaotic news cycle, it is a reminder that conviction must come before courage. That is the show tonight. Project Freedom moves into the Strait of Hormuz, Trump raises the pressure on Iran, election fights sharpen at home, political violence cases keep stacking up, Europe faces new security alarms, criminal cases expose the cost of weak systems, China rebuilds with American-trained talent, and NASA pushes the next chapter of American spaceflight. Stay alert, stay grounded, and stand firm.
Don'tDeleteMeBro.com. 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 Share the site with others. Don'tDeleteMeBro.com. 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 Share the site with others. Don'tDeleteMeBro.com.
That's all for now. Stay alert, stay informed, and never hand your thinking over to anyone on a screen, including me. God bless you, God bless our troops, and God bless the United States of America. See you soon.